What is going on, fellow game developers? We are back with another video on the 2D mini golf tutorial, and in this video we're going to be adding in a goal or a hole for you to score in. So inside of our game, let's just get straight to it. So what we want to do is go to 2D sprites and create a circle and just rename this to hole. Now we can reset transform and change its scale to be something like 0.5. Now, if we zoom in here, we should still see the ball. Let's make the hole black so we can see the difference. So there you go. You can see the hole there, and the ball is definitely small enough to fit inside of the hole. So the next thing we want to do is add a circle collider 2D, which we will change to is trigger. Now we have the ball. All we need to do is place the hole where we want it to. So let's just move this up a little. We'll put it at, let's say, 4. And there you go. There is the first hole for our game. We just have to shoot and score in the hole. Let's also move the ball to the other side. Let's say -4, so you've got the whole distance off the pitch. In the game, you can see we start off here and we have to score on this side. So where we've got the hole, we just want to add a new tag here, and we're going to create a tag and we'll call it goal. Now you could call it hole or whatever you want to. I just want to call it goal. The reason I'm calling it goal is because potentially you may not want a hole as your goal. You might want, say, some levels to have a net or something you have to go through, like a clown's head, I don't know, for the goal. But we just need to make sure that the tag we are choosing is on the hole itself, and that way we can obviously score our goals. Now we've got this applied, all we want to do is go back into our ball script, so double click that to open it up, and we want to add in a couple of triggers. So at the very bottom of our script, we just want to add in a on trigger enter 2D. So when we first enter a trigger, we just want to check if our other.tag is equal to goal. So we just want to make sure if it's equal to goal, then we're going to create a function called check win state. So we just want a check win state here, and we're going to call this function. Now we want to copy this and change this to stay, because we also want to know if it goes over the hole, not just when it first enters it, but when it's in it. So this will tell us if it's in it, if it's equal to the win state. So let's say the ball rolls over the top of the hole, but it was going too fast, and then it finally made slow enough to fall in, then we will allow that here as well. So what we want to do is create this function. So let's create a private void called check win state, where we check the win state. So earlier we created the in hole property here, and we just need this to make sure we're checking if in the hole. So what we want to do is say if we're already in the hole, then return. You don't need to check this again. It means we've completed it. It's all done. We then just want to check our velocity. So we want to say our velocity magnitude. Now this is going to return the length of the vector. So let's say this is a vector of, let's say 1 and 2. So its x is going at 1 and its 2 is going at, its y is going at 2. Then the magnitude of this would be equal to 3. So you can kind of see how this works here. So if the x speed is 1 and the y is 2, that means its magnitude is 3. So what we want to do is check if its magnitude is less than our max goal speed. So if you remember in the previous video, we added a max goal speed of 4 by default, and we just want to check our ball is rolling smaller than that. Now you can change this value to tweak it to what you feel fits the game best. I'm going to leave it at 4. I think that works for our game. Now once we've checked this, that means if it is going slow enough that it can fall in the hole, we want to change in hole equal to true. That means if it is still in the hole, it's not going to keep rerunning this here. It'll just return out of this and it won't keep checking this win state. We then want to set our rb.velocity equal to vector2.0 because we don't want the ball to be moving anymore. It's done. And then we can set the game object set active equal to false. We're just going to make sure the ball is no longer visible, and then we can call a level complete function from a game manager in a future video. So now here you go, we can see we can check win state, and if we're in the hole, it will set our object to 0. So now coming back to Unity, we just want to see if this is working, and if we're going slow enough and we go in the hole, will it actually count? So now you can see I'm going to fire this very hard to see if it will just go straight over the hole. You see it went over the hole, but when it came back, it actually went in the hole. That's because it went over the hole because it was going too fast, but as it bounced off the wall and came back, it was finally slow enough to fall in the hole. Now, as I said, you can tweak this speed here. This is a pretty good speed. I think this works really well. It's mainly for the really fast balls. So if you're right next to the hole and you pull it max speed and you shoot it, you don't want it to just go in the hole. It's kind of best for it to just roll over. So the next thing we're going to do before finishing up this video is we want to create a explosion or something to happen to tell us we've gone in the hole, because currently it just rolls in and that's everything. So we're going to create a prefab or an empty object here, which we are going to be called goal FX for goal effect. So when we score a goal or go in the hole, we want to add a particle system to this, and then we're going to want to tweak this a little. So you can see here we have this, and one of the first things you notice is it's actually behind the tile map, the actual pixels. So what we want to do is go down to our renderer and change its sorting layer to, say, the ball layer. Then what we want to do is go to the material and actually add, let's say, the default sprite here as just something we can use. So now you can see it is appearing in front of the screen. Now back at the top, we want to change a few things. We want to set the duration to be 2, and we want to set the start lifetime to actually be a random between 2 constants. We want it to be between 2 and 1. This just going to give us a random float value between 1 and 2. We then want the start speed to also be random between 4 and 1 as well, so you get different randomized particles. And then start size. So start size, we're going to do the same thing between 2 constants, and we're going to set this to 0.1 and 0.2, so they're really small. You can see them there, which would be much better for our game. Now you just want to make sure play on awake is enabled, because we want this to happen as soon as we score a goal. So now you want to go to the emission tab over here, because we don't want them to be going over time. So you see rate over time, we want to set that to 0, because we do not actually want them to be spawning infinitely. We only want one burst of particles, and that's where this burst section comes in. So we want to add a burst, and we want to set this count to something like 50, cycles to 1, interval to 0.10, and obviously probability also to 1. This can all be left at default. Just change the count to match what you feel works. Next up, we want to mess with the shape. We're going to change from a cone to a circle, and we want to set the radius to something like 0.5, so it's a lot smaller, and that should work for our game. So you can see here they start in and they explode outwards, which is great. Next up, we probably want to mess with the color over lifetime setting here. So if we turn this on and double click this, what we want to do is at the end of its life, we just want it to fade out. So you can see it starts off all bright and then fades into nothing. So it doesn't just disappear at the end, they fade away. I also want size over lifetime as well, and if we drop this down, or if we actually up this particle curve here and we click this, you can see we can pick from some presets. I just want to select a nice curve here that will slowly bring it down. So you can see here they start off big and they slowly get smaller over time. Now this works for our goal effects. When you score a goal, it'll go and basically just explode. So what we want to do is turn this into a prefab. So inside of our art, we can right click, create a folder and call this prefabs, and drop in this goal effect in there. Now it's a prefab, we can delete it from our scene, and we can go to our ball, open up our ball script and create a new reference to this. So we want a private game object called our goal FX. Let's capitalize that X just to make it look nicer. Then down where we score our goal in our win state, after we set the game object to false, we want to create a new game object called effect, and we want to instantiate our goal FX at the current position of the ball with the quaternion.identity as its we then want to destroy the effect after 2 seconds. This just cleans it up. The effect only lasts 2 seconds, so we can destroy it after 2 seconds, making it a lot cleaner. So now if we go back to our game, you can see we can take a shot at goal, and when it goes in, nothing happened because we forgot to set the goal in our prefab. So on our ball, we have our goal effect here. We just need to drag in the prefab to make sure that's working. Then we can hit play, and hopefully this time it should work. There you go, you can see it went in and it did the little explosion that happens and sent it everywhere. Now you can tweak that effect to make loads of different things happen. You can try a bunch of different things. I recommend playing fit, so you can just try around and try a bunch of different things to make it fit the sort of effect you want to see happen in your game. In the next lesson, we're going to be learning about adding the UI to our game. So we're going to be adding in a stroke counter along with maybe some win and lose states, which will be instantiated in the next video, as well as adding in a level manager that will actually hold the max amount of strokes we're allowed per hole. So this hole will tell us, let's say it's only allowed 3 strokes. So if you don't score in 3 shots, it'll be game over. It'll also count our current strokes and display the UI as well for us. So we'll be setting that all up in the next video. So if you're excited for that, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and let me know down below in the comments. Now guys, if you're new around here, you won't know that I have my own current game on the Google Play Store called Banana Toss. Banana Toss is a fun little arcade style game where you're a banana and you've got to get as far as you can and collect coins to buy new bananas. So it's a pretty fun little game. Go try it out. It's on the Google Play Store if you haven't already. It'll be much appreciated. Okay guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, do not forget to leave a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button and leave a comment down below. If you want to get involved with the community, jump in the Discord server. The link is down below. We're a bunch of friendly people, so don't be scared. If you have any questions about this video as well, just let me know. But that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you in the next. Peace out.